Today I will show you the most beautiful part of all of Bali, Uluwatu. Full of perfect white sand beaches, crystal clear blue waters, stunning cliffs and the world's best sunsets. But where do you need to go to find all of these? Where are the hidden gems? How can you avoid all of the tourist crowds, and most important, is it worth all the hype? I will show you where you need to stay, the most beautiful beaches that everyone dreams about, top beach clubs, the perfect sunset spots, must-visit restaurants, and for sure, the most important activities that you need to do while you are here. So stay till the end because this is the only video that you need to see to travel Uluwatu, Bali.
I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that is not reality. If you are echoing around inside these parallel dimensions all alone, now I'll find you in my dreams.
So first of all, where do you need to stay when being here in Uluwatu? And for that, I need to show you where Uluwatu is. So this is Bali, and this point is actually what all of the people think is Uluwatu, but actually that's not Uluwatu, that's the Bukit, and the Bukit has a lot of areas and one of them is Uluwatu. So the most important ones are Nusa Dua, that's where most of the luxury hotels are, but that's not really where we want to go because it's quite far away from Uluwatu. But the most important areas quite near to Uluwatu is first of all Uluwatu itself, then Bingin, that's kind of getting the Uluwatu area right now, and Ungazan, which is kind of the more developed city area and is quite a good location to stay because you get all of the Airbnbs and stays for half the price but are just like 10 to 15 minutes away from the really good Bingin and Uluwatu areas. So I would recommend you to book over Airbnb or Booking or Agoda, which is also a famous hotel website here in Asia. But read the reviews before you book because the reviews say a lot about the place and really take the word from them. And I would highly recommend to not go into a hotel because there are quite a few hotels here in the area and they seem to be quite cheap. But it's for me not really a Bali feeling when you go into a hotel. We also visited a few of them, but most of them are quite outdated and you don't really want to stay and you don't have the same experience as if you would stay in a guest house or in a really nice Airbnb villa. So just go on Airbnb and book a really nice place. As I said, you can basically stay in all of these three areas. So Ungazan, which is more of the city area. Then you have Bingin, which is kind of the coming Uluwatu, but there is still a lot of construction, so you need to keep that in mind. And there is Uluwatu. But in Bingin and Uluwatu, the stays are really expensive compared to Ungazan, so you can pay definitely 40% or 50% more than in Ungazan, and you have less options to choose from, especially if you want to stay long term. So now we come to the beautiful beaches of Uluwatu, and I collected my top 5 beaches just for you. And I think number 1 is the most beautiful and also kind of a hidden gem because most of the time there are not that many people there actually. And this is Melasti beach, and in my opinion by far the most beautiful beach. You have crystal clear blue water, you can walk in very far, the sand is so white and soft and it's just really nice, and you have this stunning cliff with all of the greenery on the side and it's just so stunning to be there, and I could go there every day because it's just the nicest spot in my opinion. Also, one thing that is very special at Melasti beach, that when it's low tide, which is right now at the afternoon time, you can still walk very far inside in Melasti beach because everything is still sand and you can probably walk like 50 meters and the water is still just up to your hips. And also there are not really waves coming to the beach, so the waves break far out at the reef and there's like almost no waves, so it's perfect for families or just chilling in the water, because most of the other beaches here in Uluwatu, first of all, when it's low tide, it's not really a beach anymore, because most of the beaches end with the rock then, and if you want to go inside of the water, you just walk on rocks and reef, so that's not really a beautiful beach experience in my side, especially if you want to go in low tide. And also you have very big waves, for especially in Dreamland Beach you have very big waves. You can't really go chilling into the water. It's more like a fun experience to go into water, but you get smashed all the time from the waves. So Melasti Beach is, in my opinion, the best option to choose from to chill, relax, have beautiful white sand beach, crystal clear water, and just a really nice beach day. And most of the nice beach clubs are also at Melasti Beach, but I will come to this in a bit. The second favorite of my beaches is definitely Dreamland Beach, and it's so pretty, so beautiful. It also has super nice white sand beach, and also you can go in there every time and it's still white sand beach into the ocean and not just rocks. But one contra is that there are way more people here, but you can still go a little bit further and have like very quiet areas. But the waves here are very strong, so they can get quite big. They smash you every time when you want to go into the water. So it's not really family friendly in my opinion, and you cannot really chill into the water, but it's also famous for surfers. So depending what you want, but you can get really nice suntan sessions here, and it's in general a super pretty beach, also good for sunsets, but I will come to that later. So beach number 3 is Padang Padang Beach, and it's really close between Bingin and Uluwatu, and it's a really beautiful beach. When you walk through it, there's a staircase right through the rocks, and the sand looks really beautiful. Also the ocean water looks so nice, and it's one of the only spots for surf beginners to actually learn it here in Uluwatu. And it looks so nice, but there are some negative sides of this beach that I just have to mention. First of all, when you go inside, there are some rocks, like even at low tide, you can go in and still sand, but like some rocks and some seaweed, and it's not as nice as the other beaches in my opinion. And second point, that kind of really destroys the beach for me, but it's still like a super good looking beach, but it's so crowded, like you really have to fight to get like a spot just to lay down with your blanket, and that's kind of destroys the beach feeling for me. But it's a thing that you have to go there once, because it looks really beautiful and it's really cool to get through the caves, but it's probably not the everyday chill beach. The fourth beach is Nyang Nyang, and in my opinion a real hidden gem, because you don't see that many people down there. It's kind of really local, where just some people go down there. You also don't have restaurants, just a small shop that sells like snacks, and you can rent like a sun umbrella and day beds, but most people just go down with a blanket. You can drive all the way down with a scooter, which is also a pro, and you can just chill there. You can also go to areas where no one lays at all. But one con about this beach is that when it's low tide, you can't really go into sand in the ocean. It's just rocks anymore, but you can still comfortably walk on the rocks. It's still nice, but it's just a difference when you compare it to Melasti, where you have still sand on the low tide, but it's still a super nice chill beach and just a hidden gem, because you don't have that many people down there. And I want to give you one extra beach, which is kind of two beaches in one, which is the Uluwatu and Sullivan Beach. And for this, you have to hike from the top of the Uluwatu Center all the way down the stairs right next to the restaurants, and then you come to the Uluwatu and Sullivan Beach. Both are kind of next to each other. But for me, it's not really a beach, because it's more like a cave, and inside the cave there's a beach and the water coming inside. So most people don't really go there for chilling and just to do beautiful photo spots or photo shootings, especially during sunset. But it's a thing that you maybe go down once to see it, but it's probably not a beach where you can chill and especially sunbath all day. If you like the value that you're getting out of this video, please help me out, like this video and subscribe to help the channel grow. So now we come to the beach clubs, and almost all beach clubs are at Melasti Beach. And I have to say that most of the beach clubs there have entrance fee or minimum spend, so you probably need to spend like $50-60 per person to get a day bed there. But there's also one beach club that's called without minimum spend, but I recommend you to make a reservation there. But in total, I don't really like the beach clubs there that much, because most people that go into beach clubs don't really visit the beach anymore, and that's kind of like the sense is gone for me to be at such a nice beach and don't really enjoy the beach anymore. And also I think most of the beach clubs are clearly overpriced, so I don't really recommend it. I have a really hidden gem for you, and also this is the most beautiful spot on whole Melasti in my opinion. When you drive to the Melasti beach, there's one beautiful side of Melasti beach and one not so beautiful side of Melasti beach, where you have more seaweed and it smells a little bit and the sand is not as white, and you definitely need to go to the beautiful side of Melasti beach, and this is right in front of the White Rock Beach Club. But we don't go into the White Rock Beach Club, we go to a local restaurant which is called Goa Mizari Bar, and there's actually another parking spot where you can directly park at this one, and I will leave the details in the description so you can drive directly there and just park there. And then you just go to the local restaurants and rent an umbrella and sunbed for 100k a day. That's probably about $6 for 2 beds and 1 umbrella, which I think is a pretty good deal, and you can enjoy it all day. You can order coconuts, local dishes, and it's really nice. Not that many people actually there, because most of the people go into the beach clubs and they don't know about this place at all, but it's definitely the most beautiful place at all in Melasti beach. You see the beautiful cliffs, you have perfect white sand beach, crystal clear water, and literally not that many people in front of you. So the most famous beach clubs are Temptation Club, White Rock, and Palmilla. As I said, you have minimum spend there. is without minimum spend, and there are also 2 other ones, which is the Cliff Beach Club and Sundays Beach Club, which is not really at the Melasti beach, it's right next to it, but you have to go down with a cable car, and you also have minimum spend there. But at least the Sunday Beach Club is right at the beach and not like all of the other beach clubs at like a height, and you don't really go into the ocean. So that's also a good possibility that we've not visited so far, because as I said, the best option is just to get 2 beds and a sun umbrella for $6 and just enjoy a very peaceful and empty beach. There are also some cliff beach clubs. They're not really beach clubs anymore because they're on top of the cliff and you don't really see the beach, but they're also nice. First of all, Savaya, which is like a cliff day club in the day, and at 6 p.m. it starts to turn to like a party location, which is really nice, and actually #1 club of whole Asia. It's really nice if you have like nice DJs there. Then you also have the Edge, which is a day club with a pool that is overlooking the edge, and you can look through the pool to the bottom of the cliff, which is kind of special. You also have El Cabron, which is in Bingin and right at the cliff, and you have beautiful sunset views there, also live music, and they have this bubble bath in the evening sometimes. And also New Klepper Beach Club is right above the Dreamland Beach, and all of them are pretty nice, but I think the most beautiful thing in Uluwatu is still just to go to the beach. And now I have the top 6 perfect sunset spots for you, because the sunsets in Uluwatu are really, really special, because you're on a cliff and you see the ocean and the sunset, and everything fits just so well together. So here are the best sunset spots that you need to visit when you're here. So the first one is really unique because it's the Karang Boma Cliff, and it's this beautiful cliff standing out of the ocean, and you can overlook the sunset, and it's so beautiful. And you need to go to the copy card there, because there are actually 2 spots where you can go, and the copy card is free entry, no parking fee, and there's just like a local selling nice coffee, but you don't really have seating options there. So maybe you just stand there or bring a blanket to sit on, which we did, which was really, really nice. There's also another spot, but we didn't really like it, and you have to pay entrance fee. and it's not really like better, it's kind of more worse because it's more touristy. But the copy card is so nice. The second spot for sunsets, and really one of my all-time favorites, is the Dreamland Beach. You just go to the Dreamland Beach, grab a blanket and put it on the sand, because the sand actually rises a little bit up, so it's perfect for sitting. And from there you can see all of the Bingen cliff areas where the restaurant shines when it gets dark, and you see the ocean and all of the cliffs, and it just looks so beautiful. So it's pretty simple, but kind of the best sunset spot that I know in all of Uluwatu. The third one is Balangan Beach, and you first of all can look at the sunset from the beach, but what's even better, you can drive up the hill and there's like a beautiful cliff sunset spot that's also called Balangan Beach Cliff, and it's so pretty because you see the beach of Balangan, you see all of the other cliffs, and it's really nice to sit on there. There's like a tiny wall where you can sit and you can drive directly there, so it's really beautiful and also very local. You see much locals there, and it's kind of a hidden gem because not many tourists go there. So the fourth sunset spot are the Uluwatu cliffs, because in Uluwatu you park right at the top of the cliffs, and then they have many stairs going down, and next to the stairs there are always like restaurants into the cliff, overlooking the ocean and perfectly overlooking the sunset. And in my opinion, you have three really nice restaurants. Number one thing is Single Fins, which is at the top, and you also have beach, but it gets really crowded at sunset and they don't have vegan options at all, so just in case you maybe want them. The second one is La Terrazza, which is an Italian restaurant, so beautiful, still really good prices. And the third one is Lolita Mexicana, which is a Mexican restaurant and also super nice and very chill vibe, and you definitely have to go there. The fifth sunset spot is kind of similar to the Uluwatu Cliffs, and it's the Bingen Cliffs. It's the same principle. You park at the top of the Bingen Cliffs and then you walk down the stairs, and there are also a lot of local restaurants and newer restaurants just overlooking the ocean and the cliffs and the sunset. And my top restaurants there is number one, Kelly's Warung. It's really modern, super good food, and you also have like very good spots. Second one is Dream Sun and Surf Stay. It's also super beautiful. And number three is Morabito, which is really nice but also doesn't have vegan options at all. And number 6 of the sunset spots in Uluwatu is the cliff clubs that I would just summarize to this one, because there are quite many of it. I would say the best one is El Cabron, but they have quite much minimum spending and are also quite a little bit pricey. But most of the other cliffs clubs also have that, like Ulu Cliffs and so on. There are also other places like Mana, which is a restaurant, or Istana, which is more like a recovery spa area, and you can also watch the sunset there, which is really beautiful. But just everything, every club that faces the sunset, I would summarize with this point. And now I will tell you the top 7 restaurants of all of these 3 areas. So I will give you top 7 of Ungesan, top 7 Bingen, and top 7 Uluwatu that really reach the levels of Canggu food and are so nice. I would start with Ungesan, and I don't go that deep into all of the restaurants because we don't have time for all of them. But number 1 is Oku Cafe, which is so beautiful, and you have really nice brunch there also. We also have here Healthy Tribes, which is like a more healthier restaurants and super cool, really good food. Also, you have Tarabel, which is so delicious and also quite cheap. Then you have the Hedonist, which is more like an meat-only restaurant, like grill bar, but it's really high priced, but a lot of people like it, but they have no vegan options at all. Then you have Ohana, which is a really beautiful restaurant, also from German owners, and they are super nice, also very good food, good portions. You have Bali Zabi Poke Bowl, which is really big portion size poke bowl for quite cheap money. And if you want to try one of the best pizzas I had so far in all of Bali, is definitely Tony New York's Pizza, and they have also amazing vegan cheese. Also, one extra tip if you want to eat local here is Warung Ubay, very, very famous, and they also have super good prices and like really nice local food. Then for the Bingin area, first of all, we have the Bamboo Cafe, which is super beautiful, also really good food. We have the Bukit Cafe, which kind of reminds me of the Oku Cafe and also have so good food. Then we also have Mensa, which is a little bit more priced, but they also have a really nice pool there. We have Kali's Barong, which is in the cliffs, so you can see the sunsets from there, which is already a plus point for that. Then we have Chela, which is really, really famous and also has so many good reviews. And it's this beautiful bamboo roof that is very recognizable. But I have to say, we were there with 4 people and none of us liked the food. We were there for dinner, but it's very famous for brunch. So I don't want to hide it out of you. Even our experience was not so nice at Chela. And the place with no name is kind of a hidden gem, but they also have really nice food and the cafe is so beautiful. For Uluwatu, we have first of all Surga Espresso, which is really famous for brunch. Then we have Ulu Garden, which is such a beautiful location with trees and lightning, and it's so beautiful. We have Zali, which is super good rated. Then we have also La Terrassa and Single Fins, which are both the cliff view with the sunset, which is already really, really nice. And we also have Soul Waves and Ulu Artisan, and all of them are so good. But you can be sure that here are so many nice restaurants that you could try all of them until forever. And now we come to the last part, the activities and things that you should see and do here in Uluwatu. And I will tell you if it's worth to come here and to spend your time in the most beautiful part of Bali. One that Uluwatu is very famous for is the Uluwatu temple that you have to visit because it's right at the cliff overlooking the ocean, also the sunset. And one very famous thing that you have to do here, and you probably already seen on Instagram, is the Kachak dance, because it's a big seating area and in the middle of it there is the Kachak dance from like 50 men, and they're just singing and making all of these noises, and you have also beautiful costumes, and the sun sets right behind the play of them. So it's really, really beautiful. There are like 2 plays. One is at 6 p.m., which is the sunset time, and one is at 7 p.m. But you definitely need to pre-order the cards online. You can just do it on ticket.com or whatever. And then you can just skip the line there and be really, really early, because the entry is already at 5 and you should probably stay in the line from like 4:20 to get like a good seat. So it's kind of crazy how long you have to stay, but it's really beautiful. Also, we had the best sunset ever for this dance, and even though it's really touristy, it's still a really nice thing to do and to see. And you also have the Garuda Vishnu Kenchana Cultural Park, which is like very big statues and like cultural statues that you almost see from all of Uluwatu, and it's really impressive to go there, and that's a thing that interests you, you should definitely visit. Also, you can go paragliding. The most famous spot for this is probably the Melasti beach, and you also can go surfing in like a lot of beach spots if you're a beginner, as I said, Padang, but like there are a lot of really good surf spots, and Uluwatu is also very famous for the surfer vibes. Also, one thing I highly recommend to you is to visit the Istana, which is kind of a recovery area, and no phones are allowed, so it's very relaxing. And you have this big area with a pool, and they're also playing music, and you can also visit there during sunset, which is really beautiful. And one point that I would not leave out if you're here is actually visiting the Savaya, because it's a really, really different experience from going partying. We often go there at like 5 or 6 and then you see the sunset, and it looks really beautiful. Also with this beautiful bar over the cliff, and also DJs are really, really nice, and you have this beautiful partying area, so you have to visit that. And you can do also most of the activities that you know from Canggu. For example, gyms, even though there are not that many, Pilates, paddle, and so on, and also golf. There are like a lot of golf clubs here, so you won't miss any activities here. So is Uluwatu the best part of all of Bali, and is it worth that you visit? In my opinion, it's from the beaches, really the most beautiful part of Bali. It definitely has the most beautiful beaches here. But you also should forget all of the other islands surrounding Bali because they have really nice beaches too. But in general, Uluwatu is super nice, especially if you're into surfing or want to see like all of the cliffs. So you should definitely include Uluwatu in your trip and maybe consider living here long term because it's really nice. Is it better than Canggu? I will actually cover all of this in a future video of mine to really compare Canggu and Uluwatu, but I would say you should not miss out on Uluwatu, on the beautiful beaches, the surfing, on everything else you can do here. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video where I show you the most beautiful places on earth.